back-to-back. Birmingham Southern Panthers have done the impossible.
The Warriors win.
LC wins 7-5
from the Cumberland University. Oklahoma City Stars.
Warriors win! Warriors win!
The Lewis Clark State College Warriors for the Warriors. And won this victory.
Hello, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening. Welcome to Harris Field in Lewiston for the 2010 Avista NAI World Series Championship games. It is a couple of teams out of Tennessee that are going to entertain us tonight as Lee University and Cumberland University square off in the first of what could be two championship ball games. Jay Tust with me. I'm Dave Hahn, and Jay, this has been a terrific series, especially for Lee University and Cumberland University.
Yeah, indeed. I think that there's no doubt about it. The two best teams made it to the championship game, and we've already seen these teams square off once. They played back on Tuesday, and it was Cumberland that took it 11-9. Now, in the first inning, plenty of firepower. Both teams scored 5 runs. You know, we're 2,000 miles away from home, but right here in Lewiston, we're going to see two of the best teams in the country do battle.
These two teams also met once in the regular season. It was Cumberland winning that ball game by a score of 17-16. There's a very good chance we're going to see a lot of offense tonight, but it is indeed two of the best that are in this championship ball game with Cumberland and Lee. We're going to have the starting lineups and get this one underway when we come back.
Yeah.
Well, we're ready for first pitch. It's Matt Gilson, the left-hander, that gets the start. Cumberland University will be the visitor in this ball game, and Gilson, the lefty, will go to work. First pitch underway, fouled away. Off to the right side as Greg Appleton pushes that ball out of play. Gilson, terrific year this year, 10-0 with a 1.92 earned run average. He has been one of the workhorses on this staff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he's definitely their ace. We saw him open up this series by pitching against Lubbock Christian University. Had a pretty good performance against a tough Chaps offense. Went 6 2/3 of an inning, allowed 5 runs, but only 2 of those were earned. Not necessarily a big strikeout guy, but a control guy. He's going to be around the zone all night long.
The 1-1 pitch to Appleton, pounded into the dirt, foul. And it is a ball and 2 strikes on the first baseman for Cumberland University. Sam Kickla, the shortstop, is on deck. Also due up here in the top of the first is Matt Greener. Again, these two teams have really put some offensive fireworks together in their 2 meetings this year. The 1-2 pitch swung on, fouled away. And did he catch it? He did. Caught down there. That is kind of out of our vision of our line of sight. But a nice job by the right fielder, Michael Brown, fighting the fence to pull in the fly ball. And Appleton's retired on the foul out to right.
Yeah, indeed. That's a lot of ground to cover out there. We talked about it a few times. at the NAI World Series so far in the past games that we've done, but a whole lot of foul ground down there towards the right field line, so a good job by Michael Brown scooting over there to make the grab.
So one away, and it's Sam Kickler, the batter. Jay, let's take a look at the lineup for Cumberland University.
Well, we just saw Greg Appleton lead off. Batting behind him, Sam Kickler. He's hitting 500 here at the World Series. Behind him is Matt Greener. He had a grand slam earlier today, hitting cleanup. One of the hottest hitters at this tournament, Chris Miller. Following him in the 5 holes, Troy Frazier. After him, it's catcher David Fanshaw. Behind him, it's Max Kotz. Then it's T.J. Murray and Dave Wire rounding out the starting 9.
This is a strike call. 2 balls and a strike on Sam Kickler. Kickler comes into the ball game hitting .372 on the year. He had a pair of home runs in the early game today. The 2-1 ground ball tapped towards short. Coming to get his Jose Cuevas, throw across in time. And on the ground out, Kickler is gone. And with 2 away, it's Matt Greener, the batter. Let's look at the defense.
The outfield for the Flames is going to be Seth Walker in left field. In center field, it's J.J. Costantino. In right field, Michael Brown, who's been hitting the ball all tournament long. Around the infield, over at the hot corner, it's Tanner Moore. At shortstop, Jose Cuevas. At second base, Trey Bergstrom. Over at first, Edgar Molina. And it's the battery of Matthew Gilson and Taylor Comfort behind the plate.
Matt Greener at the plate. First pitch misses inside. Greener earlier today named the NAIA Player of the Year. Guy that just has some ungodly numbers. The 1-0 pitch coming from Gilson is outside, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Greener hitting .465 coming into this ball game tonight. He has 27 home runs, 26 doubles, and 101 runs driven in. The 2-0, change up in for the called strike. 2 balls and a strike on Matt Greener.
He's a guy that's been getting it done all year, just gaudy numbers, and actually that 101 RBIs that he's driven in a school record.
The 2-1 laced out into left field, base hit, so the 2-out single has Matt Greener aboard, and it is Chris Miller, the right fielder, that comes to the plate. Up and down this offense for Cumberland University, this is a team that has hit 140 home runs this year. 140. And they're spread out through the lineup, or at least through the first 2/3 of the lineup. Appleton, who led off the ball game, has 17. Kickler has 20. Greener, 27. Chris Miller, who's at the plate, has 27 home runs this year. Troy Frazier, who's on deck, has 22. That pitcher called strike, and Chris Miller, the right fielder for Cumberland. Down on the count, no balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, overall, 7 guys throughout this order tonight have hit 10 or more home runs this year. Going to be a tough task for Matthew Gilson out on the bump. No easy outs in this lineup, with everybody have the potential to taking him deep.
1 ball, 1 strike. Miller has had a terrific World Series. He is 6 for 17, hitting .353 with 4 home runs and 10 runs driven in. The former product of Lewis Clark State quit baseball after last year's season. Had broken an elbow, really had a tough time coming back from it. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
Yeah, truly one of the better stories at this tournament. I'm sure we're going to get into it a little bit more later. But again, played for the Lewis Clark State Warriors last year. Came up, one of his first at-bats, he hit a home run. A few games later, though, he broke his elbow, and he ended up on the DL for most of the season. He came back right before the World Series, and tied an NAIA record with 5 strikeouts in a game. After that, he decided to leave Lewis Clark State. As you were saying, he wasn't even playing baseball during the fall. Coach Woody Hunt found out about that, called him up, and Chris said, hey, it's my last year, let's give it 1 more go, and what a go it's been.
Yeah, phenomenal year for Chris Miller. Like his teammate Matt Greener, Miller named to the NAIA All-America team today. The 2-2 is outside. It is now full on Chris Miller. 2-out single by Matt Greener. He is aboard at first base as Miller hits here in the top half of the first inning. No score. Quite different than our ball game the other night, Tuesday night. 5 runs in the top half of the first inning for Cumberland. Lee responded with 5 of their own in the bottom of the frame. Swing and a miss. Chris Miller is gone on strikes. Nice inning for Matt Gilson. Gives up the 2-out single, but that's all. In the top half of the first inning, no runs, 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 runner left on. Our score through 1 half is Cumberland 0, and Lee coming to bat. We now move to the bottom half of the first inning here in the Vista NAI World Series Championship ball game. Cumberland University, Lee University. On the mound is Aaron Wilkerson for Cumberland, the right-hander, 6'3", 185-pound junior, a 13-1 record and a 205 earned run average. And we talked about Gilson as a guy that really would be around the plate a lot. Wilkerson falls into that category as well. Both these guys are pitchers that don't walk many. I think because of that, you're going to see a lot of aggressive hitting in this ballgame.
Yeah, the one difference between Wilkerson and Gilson, though, is that Wilkerson strikes out a lot of batters. Coming into this tournament, 105 Ks through 84 2/3 innings. And we saw him carry that trend over in his first appearance here at the World Series. Went 8 innings, struck out 13, and talk about being around the plate, not a single walk.
First pitch, fastball strike on J.J. Costantino. Costantino, the center fielder, will be followed by Tanner Moore, the third baseman, and then it's Junior Rodriguez, the designated hitter, all due up here in the top half of the first inning. The 0-1 from Wilkerson. Up and away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilkerson, 92 1/3 innings coming into this game, and as Jay mentioned, a ton of strikeouts. He has struck out 118. He has walked 17 this year. Swung on, fouled away. It is no balls, 2 strikes on J.J. Costantino. Costantino, the junior, one of 3 left-handed bats in the batting lineup tonight for Lee University. The Flames, the number 4 seed when we started here a week ago. They have a 52-10 regular season record. That ball lifted into the air into shallow left center. That might find a home, and it does. Making the turn at first, headed to second, and beating the throw in for the double is going to be J.J. Costantino.
They say speed kills, and Costantino can flat out fly. For a lot of players, that's just a single, a little blooper into the left center field gap, but Costantino getting out of the batter's box and slides into second base. And Lee's in business here. Lee, they like to swing it early. We mentioned the last time the Bulldogs and the Flames met up, Lee answered with 5 runs in the bottom half of their first inning. Today, in their elimination game against Embry-Riddle, they scored 4 runs in the first inning. So they like to jump on you and get after you in the early innings.
Wilkerson will go to the stretch early in this one, as Costantino is down at second base. Tanner Moore, the batter, third baseman for the Flames. It's a strike on the outside corner. Give you an idea of the speed of Costantino. He has 50 stolen bases this year. He has been caught 7 times. And Lee has shown that they will steal third.
Yeah, Costantino's shown that he'll steal anything pretty much. You know, he's a transfer. Actually, this is his first year with the Flames. A 5'9", 170-pound fleet-footed junior. You mentioned those 50 stolen bases, a school record. He's also picked up 1 in 2 tries here at the World Series.
Out to the mound to talk things over with his pitcher is David Fanshaw. While we have a moment, let's take a look at the batting lineup for the Lee University Flames tonight.
J.J. Costantino, we saw him get set the table with that leadoff double. Following him, Tanner Moore. He set the school record this year with 22 home runs. Behind him in the lineup, plenty of power. Junior Rodriguez and Jose Cuevas hit 3rd and 4th. Batting 5th, Edgar Molina. He hit a 3-run home run earlier today against Embry-Riddle. Hitting 6th is Michael Brown. Following him in the lineup is Seth Walker, Taylor Comfort, and rounding out the starting 9 is Trey Berstrom.
These 2 teams, as we mentioned, have met twice this year, once in the regular season back on the 6th of April. It was a Cumberland victory, 17-16. And then 2 nights ago, the 1-1 fouled back into the dugout, rockets out, and in fact almost rolls to the other dugout. It is a ball and 2 strikes, gives you an indication of how hard that ball was hit.
I had a chance to talk with a few guys around the batting cage on Thursday, last Thursday that is. It's everybody's workout day here in Lewiston to get geared up for Friday's games. But yeah, I had a chance to talk with a couple of the Cumberland kids about that 17-16 ball game you're talking about. And you know how it ended? A 2-run walk-off home run, a pretty fitting way. I was joking around with Mark Brew. I said, who missed the extra point?
Ball popped into the air. Third baseman Matt Greener makes the grab in foul territory. Tanner Moore is gone on the foul out. And with the 1 away, it's Junior Rodriguez, the designated hitter. We talked about Greener down at third. Let's take a look at the defense.
Start off in the outfield. For Cumberland, Troy Frazier is in left. In center field, David Wire. In right field, the power hitting Chris Miller. We'll take a look around the infield. Matt Greener mans the hot corner. At shortstop, it's Sam Kikla. Over to second base, TJ Murphy. And at first base, it's Greg Appleton. Out there on the bump, Aaron Wilkerson. And behind the plate, David Fanshaw.
Runners going, throw to third, tag applied, nope. So the 51st stolen base of the year for J.J. Costantino as he heads down to third base. There he stands 90 feet away to give Lee the early lead here in the bottom half of the first inning.
Beritsky moves stealing third with only one out in the inning, but now it opens up the playbook really for the lead. Now all that Rodriguez has to do is put a ball up the middle of the infield as the Cumberland defense is playing back, or put one in the outfield as everybody's relatively playing deep right now.
The 0-1 fouled away. Quickly up on the count is Aaron Wilkerson at no balls, 2 strikes on Junior Rodriguez, the designated hitter. The senior hitting .367, 25 doubles. In fact, there are 3 players in this lineup that have more than 20 doubles on the year. Rodriguez has also mixed in 16 home runs. The 0-2 fastball swung on and missed. Rodriguez has gone 2 away. That's one thing about a strikeout pitcher, Jay. He can help his own cause to get out of a jam. If you can get the ball past somebody, you have a chance to get out of any kind of trouble.
That's exactly what he did right there. Now it takes away that ground ball up the middle we just talked about, as well as a sacrifice fly. Wilkerson showing off his arm right there, too. This guy can really bring it.
Jose Cuevas, the shortstop, the batter. Pitch delivered to the plate, swung on a high fly ball, deep left field. Playable. Couple of strides in front of the warning track. Troy Frazier hauls it in, and on the fly out to left, the inning is over. A leadoff double, but Lee can do no more with it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We have played through 1. It's Lee University nothing, Cumberland University nothing. Well, a good ball game through the opening inning. No score. Both pitchers settled in nicely on this evening here in Lewiston as we move now to the top half of the second inning. Troy Frazier, the left fielder, to lead it off for the Bulldogs of Cumberland University. On the mound, Matt Gilson. Strike 1. Taking a look at the All-America team issued today, Jay. You look at Matt Greener. We talked about him being the player of the year. And Chris Miller also on that team. But also for Cumberland, Troy Frazier, who is at the plate right now as a first-team All-American. Starting pitcher tonight, Aaron Wilkerson was not. His teammate, Sean Schaefer, was. Gives you an idea of why they are in the title game today, as they put 5 players on that All-America team.
Yeah, that's not too shabby, definitely. You talk about Wilkerson and Schaefer, maybe the best 1-2 punch in the nation. Coming into this tournament, they were combined 23-1 on the season. In a 3-game series, it simply lights out. You can't win anything like that during the regular season.
Lee University put a couple of players on the All-America team. J.J. Costantino, along with Junior Rodriguez. Pitch down low for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Aaron Wilkerson, gentleman that's on the mound right now, also a second-team All-American. Gives up the... Matt Gilson gives up the leadoff walk right now to Troy Frazier. And it's David Fanshaw, the catcher, the batter. As we mentioned, these two teams have met twice this year. The regular season one-ball game, and here in the national tournament, the game of the unbeatens on Tuesday night. You look at the statistics of those two ball games. Cumberland hitting .403, Lee hitting .373. Cumberland has hit 11 home runs in those two ball games. Meanwhile, Lee University has hit 4. Both teams had 7 doubles. You're talking 25, 39 extra base hits, 40 extra base hits. There's also a triple in there. In 2 games between these two teams, right now the two pitchers are showing what they're made of. Pitch to the plate, strike cold. It is quickly no balls, 2 strikes to David Fanshaw, the junior catcher.
Bulldogs 14 combined home runs so far at the tournament. And that's actually not very far off the record. Back in 1985, in 6 games at the World Series, the Lewis-Clark State Warriors hit 16, which stands as the record.
I'm not so sure as I think back when I first started coming up to Lewiston for the World Series. And it may have been 85, but the first game I saw, I believe it was a leadoff double and back-to-back-to-back home runs by the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Lewis-Clark State. That ball popped up into foul territory. It is going to get back into the seats and out of play, and it remains a ball and 2 strikes. Later in the game, the 8, 9, 1 hitters went back-to-back-to-back.
Plenty of power, obviously. It almost reminds you of the last time that Lee and Cumberland squared off in the top half of the first inning. The first 5 batters to come to the plate all scored. There was a leadoff single by Appleton, followed by another single by Sam Kikla. Matt Greener then doubled. After that, Chris Miller launched a 3-run home run, and then Troy Frazier followed with a solo home run by himself.
The 1-2 breaking ball down and in. Right now, Gilson really is throwing well because he is kind of tiptoeing through this landmine right here known as the Cumberland University batting lineup. 1 away here in the top half of the second inning. No score in this ball game. Cumberland wins tonight. They will be the national champions. If Lee University wins, we will have the winner-take-all championship game tomorrow. Batter is Max Couts, the designated hitter. Couts hitting .295 on the year. Senior awaits the first pitch. It's a called strike from Matt Gilson. It is no balls, 1 strike. A leadoff walk has Troy Frazier aboard at first base. Couts hitting .313 here in the national championships. Talked about this earlier. Cumberland is not a tall ball club, which that ball's popped up. Giving chase is the catcher. And Comfort will haul it in, and Couts trying to drop down a bunt and get aboard. Pops out to the catcher in foul territory. With 2 away, it's T.J. Murphy, the second baseman. You know, baseball players have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And you look down this lineup, Appleton's 5'9". Matt Greener is 5'9". Chris Miller is 5'8". T.J. Murphy is 5'10". David Ware is 5'9".
You're forgetting to list the weights, though. We're not talking about any
they're not 5'9", 130, are they?
Exactly.
Greener 5'9", 200. There's a 2-hopper hit to the second baseman. He'll go the short way with it. As Berstrom flips to Cuevas, they get the force out on Frazier. And the inning-ending fielder's choice is going to close this down. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. Through an inning and a half, it is Cumberland nothing and Lee nothing. Nothing ball game as we move now to the bottom half of the second inning. Edgar Molina will lead it off for Lee University. First pitch lifted into the air into shallow left. Shortstop Sam Kickler will reach up and grab it. Molina gone on the pop fly, and there is one away as Michael Brown, the right fielder, steps in, followed by Seth Walker, the third baseman. Two terrific years. Cumberland University 57-9 as they play here in this championship ball game. Lee University at 52-10, and two of those 10 losses to Cumberland. We started with 10 teams last Friday. These are the last two standing. Breaking ball called strike. 0-1 on Michael Brown. Aaron Wilkerson, 13-1 record on the years. We mentioned he is a second-team All-Americas. Teammate Sean Schaefer named to the first team. And I would have to agree with Jay, that's got to be one of the best 1-2 punches in the country. The 1-1 high, it's 2 balls and a strike.
You know, talk about how pitching is lined up kind of quickly. It's not often you see both aces being able to go in the championship game. It kind of shows you how easily the Bulldogs and Flames have made it really look so far. Both of them today were able to save their hosses to go in this here championship game tonight. And actually, you know, we talked about Schaefer. His arm's pretty fresh too. We might see him tonight in crunch time, or if we live to play another day because of the Flames pulling out a win, we'll see him tomorrow.
Michael Brown draws the base on ball. Seth Walker, the left fielder, steps in. So both starting pitchers have yielded a walk here in the second inning. Neither pitcher walks very many at all throughout the year. Seth Walker, junior left fielder, 326 batting average on the year. Occasional power. He has 4 home runs. Good to have you with us wherever you may be tonight. Pitch delivered. Check swing high. They appeal. Did he go? Let's look at our umpiring crew as Larry Randall down the first base line says no. Doug McClure has the balls and strikes tonight. It is Larry Randall at first base. Leland Hollis down at second, and Brian Soulier. He is at third base. It is a 6-man crew tonight. John Molesky working down the left field line. Reggie Jackson down the right field line. Talking of umpires, you really got a feel for the umpire in Detroit last night.
Depending on how you view that, you feel bad for him, I guess, but that was a tough call. You're talking about, obviously, Armando Galarraga's perfect game. 8 2/3 innings, perfect baseball. A tapper to first base, he goes over to cover first base, and the umpire calls him safe, even though replay clearly showed that he had him by at least half a stride.
Pretty good lead over at first right now by Michael Brown. Pitch delivered, fouled back into the netting. It is 2 balls and a strike on Seth Walker. Afterwards, the umpire that had made the call asked to go in and talk to Galarraga after the game and apologized. And actually a very tearful apology when he discussed it as well. You know, the Major League umpires, and umpires as a whole, even here, get it right so many times. Runners go on, the pitch is high, throw down, tag applied, got it. Brown gone on the caught stealing, first time he's been caught this year. He had been a perfect 9 for 9 coming into the ball game, but he is thrown out by David Fanshaw there. The 1-out walk is erased. There are now 2 down. And Seth Walker has the count at 3-1.
For a team with plenty of power, the Flames do like to take advantage of beyond the base paths coming into the tournament. 143 stolen bases on the year, so you definitely have to pay a lot of attention to them when they are out there on the bases.
Swing and a miss by Walker. The nice thing I like about Lee is they are a ball club that hits for average. Their team average at 337 on the year. They have 73 home runs, which pales when you compare them to Lubbock, or not Lubbock Christian, but to Cumberland, as that ball lifted foul up the first base line. There to make the catches Greg Appleton, and just like that, the inning is over. We will continue that train of thought when we come back. It's a relatively quiet bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. We have played through 2. It is Lee nothing and Cumberland nothing. There you see some of the crowd enjoying the chicken dance as we go to the top half of the third inning. A little chicken dance in your game, Jay?
Oh, I can kill the chicken dance. I got it all down.
There's a lot of people that want to kill the chicken dance. I would guess you would have some moves.
I can also two-step, but I'm not willing to show that
Good
off
looking,
right now
can
either.
dance, man. You're a commodity. David Ware leads it off. First pitch to the center fielder is in for the called strike. Both teams have had a base runner in both innings, and yet no score in this ball game as Cumberland University hitting in the visiting half of the third inning. Strike called on the inside corner. It is no balls, 2 strikes.
Gilson doing a good job of working ahead in the count and avoiding fastball situations with the Bulldogs. That's one thing these guys like. Most of these guys sit dead red, and they'll beat you more often than not.
Ware claiming he was hit on that pitch. Home plate umpire Doug McClure claiming that he was not. It is a ball and 2 strikes. I can tell you McClure's going to win that argument. You know, we sat through just clouds looming all week long. Yesterday, it finally unleashed. There's a swing and a miss. Gone on strikes is David Ware, and we're going back to the top of the order. Yesterday, it unleashed, and today has been very, very pleasant, but it is dark on the horizon here. Lights are on, obviously, and you get a look there. In fact, I'm not even sure the picture does the clouds justice out there. But rolling along here as we are now with 1 out at the top of the third. And the leadoff hitter Greg Appleton at the plate. Swung on, chopped towards third. Third baseman coming to get it. Throw to first, not in time, as Tanner Moore just did not have a chance to get Appleton, who can run, and that's why he's in the leadoff slot. Didn't have a chance to throw him out. So Appleton aboard on the infield single. And it is Sam Kickler, the shortstop, the batter. You know, talking about Lee before we went to the break, 337 average on the year. They have 73 home runs. They had, trying to find their stolen base totals here for a second. 144 for up to this morning. So they are a ball club that throws it well, hits it with power, and runs. They're really a complete ball club. And that's probably why they're in the title game. The 1-0 coming up to Kickler is a strike called on the inside corner. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt Gilson has had a runner aboard in each of the 3 innings. He had a 2-out single that he gave up to Matt Greener in the first, a leadoff walk to Troy Frazier in the second, and now the infield single to Greg Appleton in the third. Appleton can run. For the most part, Cumberland University does not run, but they have a couple of guys in the lineup that do. Appleton is their most proficient base stealer. He is 33 for 37 in stolen bases this year. The 1-1 is down, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
It's a pretty good efficiency. You know, getting back to the Flames a little bit, and you talk about how much of a well-rounded ball club they are, and it speaks to the pretty highly of Mark Brew. You know, this is only his 4th season, and in those 4 seasons, Lee has made 4 trips to Lewis in the NAIA World Series back in 2008. They were 1 inning away from winning a championship, and the Lewis-Clark State baseball team stole one away from them, winning their 16th national title at the time. But a team that knows how to compete on the big stage, and they've proven it lately.
2 balls and a strike after the toss over to first to try to keep Appleton close. Kickler awaits, pitch delivered, down in the dirt. It is 2-1. Don't kid yourself. The one number you want to look at that gives you an indication why it all comes together for these 2 clubs is their staff earned run average. Lee University with a staff ERA of 3.64, Cumberland with a staff ERA of 3.77. Although you would not know that, as that is pulled foul, based on the head-to-head competition this year. The staff ERA for Cumberland against Lee is 3.75. Lee's staff ERA in the 2 games head-to-head is 9.26.
Obviously, a couple unearned runs mixed in there.
A lot of unearned runs mixed in there, indeed. The 3-2 pitch. Not yet. Here it comes to the plate, down low, ball 4. Base on balls has Kicklow aboard. You can kind of watch as Gilson, pitching delicately, I think is the best way to put it, really trying to hit his spots, and has just missed on a couple of them there. So his second walk of the ball game. And with nobody out, there are 2 runners aboard, and you are really playing with fire right now if you're the Flames. Matt Greener with 27 home runs at the plate right now, and right behind him is Chris Miller, who also has 27.
Yeah, both of them tied for the NAIA lead. You don't want to put guys on base in front of these guys because they know how to drive in runs. The man at the plate, 101 ribbies on the year.
That ball fouled away down the right field line. A lot of giving chase, but nobody is going to get there. And Greener has the count at no balls, 1 strike. 14 home runs by Cumberland University in this World Series. I mean, we've seen Oklahoma City, we've seen Lubbock Christian come to town, but Cumberland came in and is delivered as built, and just have crushed the baseball here in this World Series.
Yeah, indeed. And you look at the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters in Sam Kickla, Matt Greener, Chris Miller, and Troy Frazier, and they've combined for 12 of those home runs. So, as you said, right now, Matthew Gilson playing with fire, hoping not to get burned.
1 through 6, very dangerous at any time of running a ball out of the ballpark. Max Counts, TJ Murphy, and David Ware, the bottom third of the lineup between them, do not have a home run, but they can set the table and then let the big guys take care of it all.
You're going to see Gilson try and stay away from Greener right here. As I say that, he comes in with some soft stuff inside, but nothing hard in. Throwing an off-speed pitch on the inside corner, he hopes Greener's just going to spin on that and pull it foul, but he's a dead pull hitter. You see the outfield shifted everybody towards left center field right now.
Home run he hit earlier today was indeed a shot to left field. The 1-1 pitch swung on. Ground ball up the third baseline foul, and Greener looking at a 1-2 count now as he hits here in the top half of the 3rd inning. In the championship ball game of the 2010 Avista NAIA World Series. And a nice crowd has settled in here tonight to watch these 2 teams out of Tennessee. Again, as we talked about earlier, Cumberland wins. They are the national champions. The 1-2 strike called, and caught looking is Matt Greener. Greener will head back to the dugout muttering to himself, and it's the right fielder Chris Miller that steps in.
One thing both these pitchers have gotten early in this game is big Ks with runners on base. And they've been able to limit damage so far and leave a couple guys stranded out there in scoring position. Now, though, he's still got a tough one to get through as Chris Miller comes to the plate. 6 of 18 on the series, 4 home runs and 3 RBIs. He had a 3-run home run back in Tuesday's game against Lee.
Miller awaits, 2 aboard, pitch delivered, swung on, ground ball to third. This could be 2. Tap of the bag is more, and he doesn't need to get 2, as he only needed 1. You put one in the reserve, can't you? Gone on the field, his choice is Appleton, and the inning comes to a close. No runs, 1 base hit. There were no errors, 2 runners left on through 2.5. We're scoreless with Cumberland and Lee.
Congratulations, players. Advance more information on any Sailors fan choice team. Movie posters at www.naiworldseries.com.
Bottom half of the 3rd inning. Taylor Comford, the catcher, Trey Berstrom, second baseman, and then J.J. Costantino, the center fielder, all due up as they go to work here against Aaron Wilkerson, the right-hander for Cumberland. Pitch delivered to the plate, popped up. pitcher calling for it. He will finally give way, and it'll be the first baseman, Appleton, that makes the grab. You know that Aaron Wilkerson was his high school's best athlete, and yet don't trust him to catch a pop-up. It is amazing how pitchers get told to get out of there.
Indeed. I bet you he'll be the first one to say that, yeah, he was his high school's best athletes, but all those position players out there, they have egos too, and they say that pitchers aren't athletes.
Trey Bergstrom, the batter. He is the number 9 hitter in the lineup. He awaits the first offering from Wilkerson. Swing and a miss. Aaron Wilkerson, 13-1 on the year. 6'3", 185-pound junior. The 0-1 pitch. Grabs the outside corner. It is no balls, 2 strikes quickly on Bergstrom. This is certainly not what we expected. A pitcher's duel as we go to the home half of the 3rd inning. The 0-2 coming right after it. That ball fouled away. Well, might have come off the top of the helmet of the catcher, Fanshaw.
Talking about both these pitchers, they're both well rested. The last time these guys threw was almost a week ago, so they've definitely had enough time to rest up, and they've looked pretty darn sharp here early.
No balls, 2 strikes. To the plate, it's high, and it is 1-2. Cumberland University got a great start after getting the bye Friday. They got the great start on Saturday, got the win on Monday, and then ran into that game against Lee University as their strike 3 called, and gone is Bergstrom, and there are 2 away. In that ball game, their starting pitcher help me out here for a second. It is Adam Sprague. Got chased with 2 outs in the first inning. They brought him back this morning and got a complete game out of Adam Sprague. So they're running along almost a game pitcher per game.
Yeah, they're pretty well lined up. Robert Post came in and finished off that game with 8 1/3 innings of relief. It's not too often you hear that, but he was phenomenal. He limited the Flames. Yes, limited them to just 4 runs over those 8 1/3 innings. And that was a huge pitching performance because Lee, on the other hand, they had to use a few arms, including their closer, one of the best in the nation, in Aaron Everett.
Pitch delivered to the plate. It's high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Really, that game had the potential to devastate the bullpen. And because of the performance by Post and eventually by Everett, they were able to really keep the damage to a minimum when it comes to their pitching arms. And both teams got to be in very good shape as they are in this title series.
I actually talked with Mark Brew yesterday around the batting cages. That was pretty much the only place the teams could work out because it rained here so much. But he did say that Everett would be ready to go. The team's closer, 8 saves on the season, and a phenomenal 5 innings that he pitched just a couple days ago through 66 pitches. But he's going to be ready to go. And Brew actually told me as well that he's not going to rule out if there is another game tomorrow that Everett might start that ball game for him, even though he is their closer.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody aboard. 0-0 ball game here in the bottom half of the 3rd. The 1-2 pitch to the plate, swung on, base hit, back up the middle into center for Costantino. And the first team All-American wraps the single back up the middle. It is the 2nd hit of the ball game to go along with 1 walk for Lee University. Tanner Moore, 3rd baseman, steps in. Moore was an honorable mention All-American pick. I really like this kid. He's got solid numbers. 390 average, 22 home runs, 76 runs driven in.
You're going to have to pay a lot of attention to Costantino right here. 2 outs in the inning. You expect him to be running early in the count, try to get a man in scoring position. So Moore's probably going to get a fastball to hit early in this count. We'll see if he can jump on one.
Toss over to first base, back to the bag is really a pretty good lead for Costantino. As we mentioned, he has 51 stolen bases on the year. He got a leadoff double out into left center in the first inning and then stole 3rd with 1 out. The pitch to the plate, down and away, and it's 1 ball, no strikes.
Been hanging around the ballpark all week, and I'm not sure if it was his dad or not. By how big of a Costantino fan he was, I'm going to guess that it was Mr. Costantino, but He got behind. He got ahead in the count 3-0 one time, and he yelled out at the pitcher, "A walk's as good as a double," because you know he's going to be off and running if he can reach base.
That ball down in the dirt. Costantino goes to second, checks over his shoulder. And on the air by the pitcher, Wilkerson, with 2 away. Lee University with the first run of the ball game in scoring position. So a 2-out single and a pickoff there.
Again, that's what speed kills right there. Costantino didn't even have to do anything. Just the threat and the fact that he has 50-plus stolen bases this season, causing Wilkerson to pay a whole lot of attention. And just a simple throw over to first, that wasn't even his best move, and he gets away down the right field line, and now the Flames have a guy in scoring position.
The 1-0 strike call. It is 1-1 on Tanner Moore. I would not think that Costantino would try to steal third in this situation, take the bat, potentially taking the bat out of Tanner Moore's hands. He's going to score on a base hit, in all likelihood, from second. So really nothing gained by moving up with 2 out. Pitch on the outside corner. Great location there by Aaron Wilkerson.
Yeah, a couple of quality back-to-back fastballs right on the outside corner. Moore looking for something probably on the inner half that he can try and pull, because that's what he does best. But a couple of quality pitches, and now he can come with pretty much anything he wants. Waste one in the dirt. He's got just about every pitch at his disposal ahead 1 and 2.
Tanner Moore delivers ground ball to second base, bobbled, picked up, thrown out. So Tanner Moore's gone on the inning-ending ground out. A little bit of noise by Lee, but nothing to show. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 runner left on. We have played through 3 complete. Jay is going to take us through the middle 3 this evening. Our score, Cumberland University nothing, and Lee University nothing.
Back at Harris Field, currently 0-0 here in this 2010 Avista NAI World Series Championship game between Cumberland and Lee. Leading off the inning, Troy Frazier steps into the batter's box. He takes ball 1 for Matthew Gilson. The senior lefty for the Flames has been dealing so far this game. 3 innings pitched. He's only allowed 2 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. But the most important column, 0 in the runs. Count evens at 1-1. Again, Troy Frazier at the plate. That pitch swung on and fouled back behind the dish. Frazier, a transfer out of the University of Kentucky. He is a senior. How we got here? Well, last year he was mired in a long slump. The Wildcats, they fired their coaching staff just 20 games into the season and brought in a new coaching staff. They went with the youth movement, and Frazier just kind of the odd man out. You know, he wanted to play every day, and after he talked with the head coach of Cumberland, Woody Hunt, for just 15 minutes, he knew Cumberland was the right place for him. The 2-2 pitch on the way misses outside as the count runs full. And I tell you, it sure has been the place for him. 22 home runs on the year, 67 RBIs, a .365 batting average. He's fit in nicely here in this Cumberland lineup. That pitch swung on, laced into left field for a leadoff single through the 5-hole. Just the 3rd hit of the game by the Bulldogs, who have absolutely swung the stick so far this tournament. In the opening game versus Embry-Riddle, they scored 9 runs. In game number 2 against Oklahoma City, they beat the Stars 8-1. In game number 3, they played the team you're seeing them compete against tonight, Lee. That was a slugfest in which the Bulldogs also took 11-9, and then earlier today and in the 11 o'clock game this morning, they put up 10 runs against Embry-Riddle in a 10-7 win. Gilson comes set, delivers to the plate. That pitch swung on, hit towards left center field. Constantino gives chase, and it is gone. Home run for David Fanshaw, his 13th round tripper of the season. And Cumberland jumps on top of Lee University 2-0 here in the 4th inning. A leadoff single by Troy Frazier set the table, and then Fanshaw delivers the blow to left center field. Again, it's the Bulldogs that jump on top and strike first here in this championship matchup. See how Gilson responds. Now he winds, kicks, and delivers to the plate. Swung on and missed on the outside corner by Matt Couts for strike one. Gilson delivers again. Off-speed pitch pulls the string as he works quickly ahead of Couts. 0-2. So far at the series, Couts 5 of 17, just an RBI and a double. Paints the outside corner. A look back at home plate. Umpire Doug McClure for Couts, but he's down on strikes. As Gilson bounces back nicely after allowing the 2-run home run to Fanshaw. TJ Murphy now into the batter's box, 4 of 10 at the series. On the season, hitting .327, no home runs, 10 RBIs. He's played in 47 of the Bulldogs' 66 games. Gilson now back up on the bump. Looks in for the sign to his catcher, Taylor Comfort. Winds, kicks, and delivers. Off-speed pitches, misses well away for ball one. The 1-1 lifted up the first base line. I do believe Edgar Molina is going to have plenty of room, which he does, as he comes down with it for out number 2. So with 2 outs here in the top half of the 4th inning, it's going to be Dave Ware coming to the batter's box. Back in the 3rd inning, he struck out in his only at bat, just 1 of 12 on the series. Really the only Bulldogs hitter that hasn't thrived at the plate. He takes that pitch over the outside corner for ball one. As again, Gilson works ahead of his 3rd straight hitter since allowing that 2-run home run to Fanshaw. Off-speed pitch fouled back, and Gilson is ahead now 0-2. Saw Gilson pitch last year here at the World Series. He anchored the Flame staff in 2009 with an 11-4 record, 94 innings pitched. Only gave up 34 earned runs, had 68 strikeouts, and only 14 walks. Again, we mentioned his pinpoint accuracy. There you see it again. He misses just low as the count runs to 2-2 here on Ware. The 2-2 pitch misses just off the outside corner. As you can see, Gilson wanting it, taking a step towards the dugout, but he's going to have to retreat back to the mound as the count is 3-2. 2 outs here, top half of the 4th inning. Cumberland jumping on top with a 2-run home run by David Fanshaw. That pitch laced down the 3rd base line. Tanner Moore with a great play. Oh my goodness, but it's Ware who thought the ball got down the line for a double. He took a round. He went to round first base and actually gets caught rounding first base by the first baseman Edgar Molina. You see right there on the replay, he probably would have been safe, but as he turned in the corner, Molina applies the tag, and we're out of the top half of the fourth inning. The Bulldogs do strike for two, though, on the David Fanshaw home run. They lead it by that score as we head into the bottom half of the fourth inning.
I'm sorry, let's back up a minute. I got ahead of myself. It's now time for the Lucky Seat giveaway. If you're sitting in the first base section, row D, seat 3, that's first base section, row D, seat 3. Or if you're in section 2, row F, seat 4, you have just won an official Nike World Series bag, courtesy of Spokane Athletic. Let's give those G again. First base section, row D, seat 3. Or in section 2, row F, seat 4. You just won an official Nike World Series bag. You pick your prize up at the volunteer booth. Also, all fans sitting in section 1, row C, you just won a prize courtesy of Pepsi.
Gets ready to start his fourth inning of work. Right now, his team is on top 2-0, thanks to a David Fanshaw two-run home run in the top half of the inning. Wilkerson just continuing his impressive season here so far with the World Series. Now has gone 12 innings out there on the mound and has only allowed 1 run in those 12 innings of work. That pitch over for a first pitch strike, and that's a big reason why. He's a guy that likes to work ahead in the count, and he's done that so far tonight.
Take a look at Junior Rodriguez at the plate. Guy that is first-team All-American is the designated hitter, a senior out of Miami of Florida.
Off-speed pitch. Rodriguez thinks about it but holds back. He takes it for strike 2.
Wilkerson really is hitting his spots right now. Saw a couple of pitches there against Tanner Moore to end the third inning, and now that pitch.
Off-speed pitch. Off-balance swing by Rodriguez, lifted into center field, falling quickly, and it's going to get down out there between Dave Ware and Chris Miller for a leadoff single. Just kind of caught it off the end of the bat. It looked like an off-speed pitch by Wilkerson, but it does the trick, and now the Flames have a runner on here with nobody out in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Rodriguez, a guy that has power with the 16 doubles and the 16 home runs, the 25 doubles. The outfield, particularly Ware in center, and Miller and right were really deep on that at bat, and just no chance to come get that baseball.
Now the cleanup hitter, Jose Cuevas, steps into the batter's box. 9 of 17 with the home run. So he takes that pitch high, and what a big home run it was, taking on Lubbock Christian. In the first game back on day 1, it was in the third game.
A year ago, wasn't it?
Exactly, it sure seems like it. But tied up at 6-6 with Lubbock Christian, the defending champs from last year. Cuevas unleashed one out into the left field stands for the walk-off winners. The Flames ended up taking that ball game 7-6.
Take a look at Cuevas. Nice body, 6'2", 180-pounder. He is a junior. He'll be back next year for him.
Pitch swung on, fouled straight back over home. And that's a pretty interesting point you make, because this is the 4th consecutive trip that Lee has made here to Lewiston, and it doesn't appear they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon. J.J. Costantino, he's only a junior as well. You look at Cuevas, you mentioned he's a junior. Edgar Molina, he's also a junior, so they got some young talent on this ball club.
I got some leadership, I would guess, in Tanner Moore that's going to be hard to replace. Somebody will have to step into that role. Rodriguez, the senior. But yeah, it's a nice balance.
You talk about leadership and experience, and the Flames, I mean, no lack of it here at the World Series. 4 straight years, just about everybody on their roster has been here at one point in time or another. For Cumberland, on the other hand, they haven't been back to Lewiston since 2007. And of their entire roster prior to Friday's first pitch, only 2 guys on their entire roster have ever played in the World Series. One of those was Chris Miller with Lewis Clark State last year, and the other one was their pitcher, Sean Schaefer, who came here with British Columbia a couple years ago. Another healthy hack at the plate by Cuevas. He fouls it straight back, and we'll do it again here at 2-2.
Sometimes you look at teams that they kind of lean on junior college transfers, and you can turn over a roster awfully quick.
And that's exactly what the Bulldogs have done. You know, they only returned 3 regular starters, everyday starters from last year's team. They also brought back 6 pitchers, but 36 new players on this ball club this year. And Woody Hunt has really put it together, one of the best teams he's had while he's been at Cumberland, and he's been there a while, 27 years coaching the Bulldogs.
Doesn't look like Wilkerson and Fanshaw are on the same page. A couple of shake-offs, a couple of step-offs. Finally, Fanshaw is going to go out and talk it over with Aaron Wilkerson. Wilkerson in 3 innings of work. He has given up the leadoff single here in the third. He has allowed 3 hits. He has struck out 2, and he has walked 1.
I think you see right there, too. Wilkerson's thrown 3 straight fastballs to Cuevas, and he's got the timing down right now. I don't exactly know the signs that Fanshaw is putting down, but either way, it also causes Cuevas to get out of the batter's box and get maybe a little bit uncomfortable, maybe get him thinking about the next pitch a little bit more. Wilkerson back up on the bump. Takes another peek in at Fanshaw. Now he comes set. He looks over to first base at Junior Rodriguez. Takes another peek. Now comes to the plate. Another good swing at the plate by Cuevas.
If you cannot change speeds, and obviously you think from a fastball to a changeup to a curveball, but also your fastball needs to be thrown at different speeds, because hitters, I mean, I don't care if they're in Little League trying out for the All-Star team or the pitching machine, they'll time in on it pretty quickly.
Again, the 2-2 offering on the way. Strike 3 called.
Not quite sure what Jose Cuevas was looking at. Maybe he was looking for the off speed, and the fastball just got in on him quickly because it just froze him.
Well, I think that's exactly what happened, because he had 4 straight fastballs on a 2-strike count, absolutely timed up by Wilkerson, and I thought that he was probably thinking there's no way he'd come back with another one, trying to sit on something off speed. Wilkerson busts him in as he wins that battle at the plate. Now Edgar Molina steps into the batter's box. He takes ball 1 outside. Molina flat out to left field in his first at-bat back in the 2nd inning. So far, Lee, just 3 hits on the ball game, 2 of those belonging to J.J. Costantino. Swung on and fouled back by Molina for strike 1.
It's a nice batting lineup. You go up and down this lineup. The only hitter that doesn't have an average of 300 or more is the catcher, Taylor Comfort. He's at 297. But guys up and down this lineup that can swing the bats. They're just an offense that just keeps coming at you.
The 1-1 pitch by Wilkerson. On the way. Swung on and fouled off by Molina. And I think you make an interesting point there too, because while both these offenses are talented, they kind of do it a different way. You talk about balance. Well, there's balance up and down the order for Cumberland in terms of power. Just about everybody has some of it. In terms of Lee, well, you look at Tanner Moore, Junior Rodriguez, and Jose Cuevas. Those are the guys that provide the thunder in their lineup, but they also have a lot of table setters and some guys that do their own things that add to this lineup and make them so dangerous. Wilkerson, pitch, swung on, lifted towards left field, giving chase. Troy Frazier, he comes down with it, and retreating back to first base is Junior Rodriguez.
Troy Frazier really had Molina shaded towards the foul line. And when that first ball came off the bat, I thought maybe it would have get in there, because Frazier had to go a ways to get there. But he covered the ground quickly and easily pulled it in.
Yeah, you're right, Molina, a left-handed hitter, but obviously they're trying to throw him a lot of hard stuff, because again, the outfield shifted over towards left field. You saw the left fielder shading towards the line, the center fielder shading towards left, and the right fielder playing pretty much straight up. 2 outs here, though, as Michael Brown steps into the batter's box. He takes ball 1 up and high from Wilkerson. Brown reached base on a walk in the 2nd inning, then caught stealing for the first time this year. Again, back in the 2nd. Brown takes that one right down to the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Outside between innings, a couple of raindrops. Nothing like we saw yesterday. But still a couple of raindrops fall. And it'll be interesting to see what time they schedule the championship game tomorrow. They cannot go to Saturday, is my understanding.
Swung on and missed by Brown at the plate for strike 2. Yeah, and if Cumberland can pull this out, then it's nothing we even need to worry about. Cumberland is still undefeated in this tournament. It's a double elimination tournament. So Lee, if they're able to knock off Cumberland tonight, well, we'll do it again tomorrow. Possible start time probably looking at noon, with the forecast saying showers later in the day. Wilkerson, off-speed pitch, dandy curveball, and it's Brown down on strikes. Fanshaw tosses over to Appleton at first, and the side is retired here in the 4th. Just the lone hit by Junior Rodriguez, but he's left stranded at first base. It's 2-0 Cumberland here as we head into the 5th.